What's up, everyone? This is I'm DJ Phani Kumar. I'm going to do my live with Shreya Nagarajan Singh. So basically, what I do is I'm more into my profession is DJing. So I started about 2010. Primarily, I was dancing so much. Then I started doing DJing because I liked music, and I started playing for events, starting with weddings and other college cultural events. That's how it started. But then later I moved on to the culture of hip hop. So I primarily now play for commercial events, for corporates and weddings, and for hip hop events. Hip hop events are where I play for competitions and other stuff. So today I will just go through some of the equipments that I use. I also produce. So I'll just run through the standard equipment structures, how it is going to be, how it's used and everything. And also play you a live demo for 10-15 minutes, depending on the time that we have. Thank you, Shreya, for having me to feature this live. If you have any questions regarding DJing and other stuff, you can just post it in the comments. I would be really happy to answer your queries, questions and everything. The first thing that you should know about hip hop, like DJing, is that DJing is the primary element of hip hop culture. So the DJing started as a part of hip hop culture, then it later evolved into various things. Now you could see DJ everywhere, from weddings to corporate events to clubs and everything. Primarily it started when DJ Kool Herc, who was playing at a party, which is the first party that was played in New York. Earlier that you had DJs playing only for the radios and other things. So hip hop has 4 elements. One of the primary element is DJing. So now you could see DJs everywhere, and it has become a profession for a lot of people. Some of them are making living out of it, and some of them are just having good time. Thanks for joining, Shraddha. The first thing about DJing is that anybody can become a DJ, but as long as you love playing music or you like to hang around the music. So if you don't have that, if you don't like music, or if you don't have, what are the other 3 elements? Okay, if you don't like enjoying music, then you shouldn't be here. Sorry, no problem. So the 4 elements are DJing, rapping, graffiti, so these are the 4 elements. It starts with DJ, then you have a rapper, then you have the B-boys or the B-girls, the breaking, the dance part of hip-hop, then you have the graffiti artists. So that's what makes the hip-hop culture. And there's also beatboxing. Some of them consider it as the 5th element of hip-hop. So if you see, initially when hip-hop originated, they used to play with turntables. I'll just show my turntable equipment for a second so you... So this is the turntable equipment that we use for DJing. So turntable is also used for scratching. So initially it was turntables. Now we have something called as controllers. These are the controllers. This is the controller that can be used. I'll play today using both the controller and the turntable. And then I use my machine for my music production. This is a drum machine that can be used for... So this is the equipment. So this is the setup. I use turntables only when I play for hip hop events, especially for dance competitions and other things. If for other events, I'll carry my controller. So when you initially started, there were records, right? Like people only had records. Initially, when we started, the DJing started, people used to only have records, vinyl records. So they used to play with the turntables. Then the CDs came in, so they had new equipment called CDJs, which is used to play the CDs. Now everything is played using laptop. So most of the DJs use laptop. So you need a controller that uses software to play music. So that's the recent trend in DJing. So if you see anyone playing, they would be mostly using controllers that I've shown. There are different controllers. So the equipment is more like your bike. So what happens is that based on your preference, based on your liking, you'll either use a bullet or a normal bike with gear or something that has no gear. So it's as simple as that. So based on your preference and what style you want to play, you'll just choose the equipments. So that's how the equipment goes. If anyone has any question, you can just post it. My habit is like I just wave to anyone who's online. So that is that. So if you see a lot of clubs, they have the CDJ setup, which is really standard in the clubs. So a lot of DJs who are playing in the clubs, they would use that. Some would use controllers based on their preference. So in the last decade or so, the controllers have been really user friendly, and it doesn't cost that much. So there are a lot of people are taking up DJing as in part-time or full-time. Now you have access to everything because the internet is like really easy to get connected with a lot of people, to learn from other people who are like way abroad, who's in abroad, or you just message them and ask them queries and everything. A lot of DJs are interconnected now, not like earlier. So it's like a lot of people have interest towards music. Some of them choose DJing because it's either stylish, like you're very happy to say you're a DJ, but some of them have so much interest in music, so they eventually turn up to be a DJ. Anyone has any questions, you can post. So if you look at it, so the problem now with online playing or going live on online is the fact that there are a lot of copyright issues, licensing problems and other stuffs. So it's really hard for us to, like if I play some famous numbers, it can be from Bollywood or it can be from any genre of music, this live would be shut down immediately within 2 minutes. So the real challenging part is now, like when most of us are DJing from the bedroom or from the house, it's really challenging to play music that is like really famous and other things. So you have to be really careful as a DJ. So if I play any famous numbers, copyrighted music for more than 30 seconds, they're going to shut down me immediately. So you choose music that's not so easy to catch up by the algorithm, and you just play accordingly. So most of the music that I would play today is I'd make sure that I'm not cut off from the live because of copyright issues. Shreya earlier asked me this, like, you want to be a DJ, a lot of them just like get into DJing and other things, but then you need to get license for the music that you want to play. So it's called PPL license, and also there's NOVX license. NOVX is primarily for Bollywood music and other things which you play, and PPL is general public performance license. You have to get all these licenses. It can be a venue, or it can be a wedding, or it can be any event where the music is used, recorded music is used. You need to get those licenses. You have to pay royalties for these to get the license. So it's like really challenging because some people have really small budget thinking that we could just have a DJ, but then the licensing cost would go towards the roof. So a lot of them end up not having a DJ for their party or for the commercial events, corporate events, and other things. If you're really good at like ready to pay for the licenses, then you have proper channel to get the license from everyone. If you don't have the proper remuneration or to spending, then it's hard to get play without license. Because when we play without license, if they get catches, they would seize our equipment and everything. Then lost, like we would have terrible future, because there'll be legal actions against us as DJs, because we are playing music. The client might say that I didn't know about the licensing. So it's really important for the DJ to make sure the client knows about getting the licenses, and like make sure that it's taken from the proper authorities before the parties or the events. And also now that there's going to be no events for the next 6 months, minimum of 6 to 8 months. They're not going to allow any events. It can be wedding, or it can be corporate events, or even at the clubs. Clubs going to really take time to open up. Some of my friends who were in abroad, they had their clubs open in the cities. It was really challenging for them, and then like it didn't work out really well, because even if you have opened the clubs and other things, it's really challenging. Where did you learn DJing, and who taught you to play the game? Okay, I was primarily interested in DJing as such. The first DJ I knew was DJ Cave and also DJ Zen. Though they both are from Chennai, but then later I started on my own learning things. But then later my friend Jimmy, whom I met in Thailand, he's from Spain, he put me onto turntables. So because he's a hip hop DJ and he plays for a lot of hip hop dance events, he put me onto turntables and other things. In 2011, I learned it from him. Then frequently, as I started inviting a lot of international DJs for my events and other things, I would just get a hands-on experience from them whenever possible. I'll keep in touch with them. I'll ask them any doubts and other things. It's very easy now to connect with a lot of people through social media and other things, and even you can learn from the basics from YouTube and other things than you can learn from any DJing studios. But then earlier it was really hard. Like there are very few people who had like turntables that can be used for DJing. So my friend, when I invited him to play for my battle event in 2013, he gave me his pair of turntables, so that there's no problem for me to use turntables. So that's how I got into turntablism. If you're hardcore hip hop follower or more into the hip hop culture, you will always use the turntables, because two turntables changed the whole world when the DJ started playing. So that's how I got into it. So you need to understand the DJing, you need to love music. If you love music, irrespective of what equipment you use, you can always be a great DJ as long as you practice. If you're playing for events where there are people like dancing, you see them on the floor. It's all about the song selection and mixing it properly. As a DJ, your work is pretty simple. The dance floor should never stop dancing. That's important. Number 3 is your gear. As I mentioned earlier, it is like if you like Bullet, you take Bullet. If you like Fascino, you use Fascino. If you like bikes with gear, you use bikes. So the gear has nothing to do with it, so don't worry about it. Then mixing. The major element of DJing is mixing. You have to mix the music seamlessly. There's no error when you mix. When you transition from one song to other song, it should not stop abruptly. It should be like as if it's a single song. That's how you mix. Which is your most memorable gig you played for, and why? My memorable gig was in my earlier days. I was booked for an event. They told me it was a different event. They said it's a wedding, which is going to use only Tamil songs and other things. But then when I went there, it was a wedding for someone who came from abroad. So it was chaotic, because in early 2010s and other things, you have to carry CDs. So I carried the CD thinking that the party was only for Tamil music and Indian music. But then when I went there, it was totally different. It was all English music. So I had to call my friend immediately, and he had to travel like 1 hour from the city to ECR to get me his CD pouch, which we were sharing that time, and use it and play it. And they were dancing till 12 o'clock. Fortunately, my friend was able to get the CDs, so I just happened to save the night. Else, it's really tough. Now it's pretty easy because everything is on your laptop. All the music, everything is segregated because now earlier we used physical CDs or vinyls or other things. Now it's pretty easy because all your music is in laptop. Nobody DJs without a laptop nowadays. And like it's really rare. You'll see a DJ either with a controller or with a laptop. If you want to use a controller, you need to have a laptop. All your music is in the laptop, you have segregated accordingly, and then you play the music. There are a lot of funny incidents happen because it's just like the pun and parcel. Other interesting event was when I was playing a New Year gig, some people poured the entire alcohol on my laptop on my setup in the middle of my playing. So it was hard for me. It was like really challenging to immediately wipe all the alcohol and everything and then continue start playing. Yes, wherever you're playing recorded music as a DJ or as anyone, you need to have license. Licensing now has become more strict because there's always someone at the back end looking for who's not having license. Now it's really expensive, the licensing. It's also killing the industry as such because what you're paying is so high. So it's really challenging. The clubs usually play regular fees for licensing and everything. So when you play at the club, it's not an issue. But when you play at a private events, you need to have license. You can't skip without licensing. If they minimize the amount, probably more people would take license. I guess I will just play some music. Just enjoy. If you like to dance, you're just at home, you could just start dancing. It's going to be little bit of house music, Chicago classics and other things. I will try to pitch in music that doesn't involve copyright issues. What is with Zoom parties? Okay, that's a recent trend because everyone is stuck at home. A lot of people, what they're doing is that they pay a DJ some amount and then they just give the link. It's same like going on Instagram Live. The only thing is you're going via Zoom and like 10 other people, it's more like a private. So only 10 people can get a link or whoever pays, they get a link. So that's how they do the Zoom parties. I guess like if this situation is going to carry, Zoom parties will become more familiar and more easy way to connect with people. But then nothing there's nothing that can be compared to dancing with your friend in a club or at a wedding or at a corporate event. So people might enjoy the Zoom parties for 1 or 2 times. After that, they will definitely not. It's like just dancing at your own home, just as an individual or with someone at the home. So for initially, this will be a good platform for the DJs. How are the DJs surviving during this pandemic? If you are a top DJ, if you have really good contacts and other things, you get paid to go live on the social networking or to any brand that is like really interested to. Yes. So if you're a really good DJ and you have good contacts and brands are really interested to associate with you, then you get paid to play on social networking or on Zoom parties. It's really challenging because the amount of money in the DJing industry over the years has gone down because there are a lot of players now in the DJing scene. A lot of people have gone reducing the minimum amount that we ask or charge for a party or other things. So it's a really challenging time now. Even if the clubs open, the club DJs are going to face really challenging time. Even if the events start, there are going to be a lot of people competing for one slot and they will definitely bring down the average money. How are the DJs surviving? The DJs are surviving in a bad phase because nobody thinks them as they want to support them. So it's really challenging. What I do is I just listen to a lot of music. I change my style. I try to change my style because this is the only time where you can practice hard. You have a lot of time in your hands. I am also more involved in producing now. So I just try to improve my skills, see what I can play, see what I cannot play. If I like any genre of music which I've never tried, this is the time for me to equip my skills. When the time is out, if I get a gig, then I just need to show to the world that I'm better at what I'm doing. So that will, it's more competitive industry. If you're good and if you're good with contacts and other things, you're always going to survive. If you're not good with your skills and if you have zero contacts, you're never going to survive. The industry is very competitive. If you, for example, if anyone is trying to book someone for a club gig or for a private party, there are going to be a lot of people in the queue waiting to get the gig. For most of us, we always love playing. DJs are typically in a pandemic situation every month because we're always at home, we are very private, we try to play music for ourselves. So this doesn't affect us psychologically more, but financially, it has been the biggest hit in my, like usually all my gigs were cancelled as soon as the lockdown was announced. Some people are still inquiring for later part of the year, but then I'm not sure if they would still get approval to do their weddings or their events. It's always great to dance with your friends. It can be anywhere. If you love music, if you want to pursue DJing, you should just start ahead. Listening to music is the most important criteria to become a DJ. Zoom lag. So some of them have already approached me for doing a party on Zoom. If they're really interested, then we would probably do Zoom parties. But I'm still telling you, people might like it for 1 or 2 times. After that, probably some people can get together if they stay in the same street, then they can dance together at their place with Zoom parties. It's never the same when you do it online because although you look at them on the screen, on your laptop screen or anything, you can't feel the pulse on online. So it's like you can't. The one good thing about Zoom parties is that unless and until, even if you message us, we will not take requests. But then in general, there's no request. For most of DJs, don't like to be interrupted when they're playing. So Zoom parties can be helpful in that way that you will not be bothered by some random person asking you to play their favorite song when the party is going on. But then I think like people would catch up on Zoom parties for some time. It's like really big in US now, Zoom parties. It's like a lot of DJs are getting paid to play for Zoom parties and other things. But in India, it's going to take some time. Uh, it's like uh, DJ create, produce music and start listening to the music. See, if you like music, if you see a lot of people I know who became DJs were eventually people who loved different genres of music or different styles of music. So they happen to become DJ in a natural process. But now, if you see, because the DJing is so big across the globe, a lot of people want to pursue it as a career as soon as they see DJs playing on all these EDM festivals or at clubs or anywhere else. So, as a DJ, it is important that you know your music, whatever music you play. If you're playing Bollywood, you should know your songs in and out, what will work, what will not work. If you're playing hip hop or if you're playing EDM, you should know the music pretty well. If you don't know the music, it's really hard for you to play it for the people. Producing, not everyone produces music because it is also a natural process. Once you play it for enough time, you want to produce your own music. So once you start liking to produce music, then you eventually go become as a producer. Some people want to start as a producer, not as a DJ. So some people, it's a natural way of like moving from DJing to producing. Even then, when you're producing, probably you produce good music for yourself or the style that you thought like missing in the genre of music. That could be a way to generate revenue, right? Uh, to generate revenue, what you get out of when you produce music and put it on the streaming platforms, it's not a big amount. Even if you have like 10 million or million plays on your Spotify or on your Apple, everything, Apple Music, it's not going to generate you much of music. but then it's going to generate you a lot of fans. Probably through that, you can get gigs. At the end of the day, you can be a producer or you can be a DJ. So you have to keep in touch with a lot of people, tell them what you play, how you play, and get gigs. Gigs is the only way that you can survive in this industry. Okay, so you are a DJ and a producer, right? What kind of work do you produce? When I produce, I like house music a lot, so I do that. And I also try to sample carnatic music, which I like, to hip hop, and then just like make some samplings and other things. As of now, I'm working on my album for next year to release. So I'm just thinking mostly it'll be on hip hop with carnatic music or Hindustani music, sampled, a lot of sampling and other things. I produce because I'm more into hip hop culture, so it's natural that you like to produce your own music. For example, if I want to, once I produce my music, it's easy for me. There's no copyright issues and other stuff, so I can just post it on my YouTube channel, or I can edit videos for that and I can just post it. So that way it's really helpful. Some people want to produce for their friends. Like I know a friend who does a lot of production for his friends, for his rap and other things. So that's how producing is. If you like it, you can always do it. It's going to be lit. Okay, I think I'll do some live music for some time. Then we can probably, if you have questions, you can always drop it on the comments and I will be interested to answer. Thank you. Let's go to play some music. Please be with me for 5 minutes.
Well, at this time, you're probably beginning to wonder what you're doing with all of this. And maybe it's time to really Why not? Why not do it? Why not have a go with it?
Everybody's temperature's rising. To get down. When you move them, when you move them, when you take it to body, all that shaking, you're not faking. So move your body right back to the
So I'm going to use my producer machine, drum machine. I'm going to play a song that was sampled. So let's see. Cheep, 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 cheep. So what I've sampled is T.M. Krishna's music. Next, I've sampled the Bollywood music. I'll just play it. Okay, I'm gonna close it for now. Thank you so much. See you guys. Bye bye. End.